Oh man, is today gonna be a good show today? Because you're looking, guy. I'm wearing my Birth of Intellectualism shirt. You're welcome. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Hello, everybody. It is July the 17th, 2019. Hi, and welcome to Wrestleview Weekly. I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com, with a brand new thing that I did that I put on the site. And man, are people getting angry about it already. That's what I love to see. Oh man, have we got a doozy of a show today. First off, hello to everybody in the chat room. Let yourselves be known right now. If you don't, shut up. Hello, Mashoon Walls. Hello again there. Hey, Shane. Hello, Quentin. Hello, Daniel. I saw Lewis, that sexy beast, in there too. Hello, Kenko. Hello. Hi, Daniel. How are you? Who else is in there? You better let yourselves be known right now. Okay? Very good. All right. Why are we wearing this fantastic shirt? Because we are celebrating how magnificently smart we are when it came to Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Yes, we went a completely obnoxious and uncalled for 8-2 on the 10-match card. No tequila. A tequila-free show. All locks secured and chosen. You know what that means. Even though it's a tequila-free show, it sure as hell ain't a sober show. Because we're breaking out the Johnny Walker Double Black today in celebration. I've got more ice in the tumbler to go with the scotch. Hey there, Kit. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kit. Hello, Gills. Yeah, we did an awesome job. 2 months of no tequila. Man, has this been good. You see this? What I'm talking about is if you guys are watching for the first time, whenever we make predictions for the pay-per-view, sometimes I will make locked predictions, and if I get them wrong, I take a shot of the Luna Azul Blanco tequila. It's been 2 months that we've been tequila-free. That's counting the NXT TakeOver show, Super Showdown, Stomping Grounds, and Extreme Rules. I think our average right now, win percentage-wise, is well over 700. A far cry from what it was last year. So, if we ain't doing tequila, we are dipping into our best sources, and that's the scotch. Xantrix with the double Alistair Black. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to make me any more emo than it does make Alistair Black, but we'll be sure to find out. Today on the show, of course, we're going to be going over the post-Extreme Rules episodes of Raw and SmackDown. People are off the milk carton. Odd ones are off the milk carton, but some are remaining. Yeah, I'll go over that in a little bit. Hello, Andrew. Yeah, some people are still on the milk carton and others are not, which leads me to wonder there might be something wrong, but we'll see. Maybe you guys know something that I don't. Maybe my sources aren't that good. But yeah, going to be going over the post-Extreme Rules episodes of Raw and SmackDown. Not a whole lot of news to talk about, except for one big item that we're going to be talking about today. If you cannot tell behind me, is, I guess it's a logo or the insignia of the Hardy Boys. And with news that came out regarding the details of Jeff Hardy's latest foray with law enforcement, I felt it be apropos to basically chronicle his entire professional and personal career with regards to his substance abuse and with regards to the poor choices that he makes. And I know this may bring out feels to some people, but it brings out a lot of feels to me. It kind of affects me personally and professionally as well, because not just because I live here in North Carolina and that I live not but a little over an hour away from the Hardy compounds, but also I am familiar with the area that Jeff Hardy had a DUI. I have, I'll go ahead and admit, and most of you do know who have been listeners of me and been on podcasts and been doing all that all the time, and that I myself have had problems with substance abuse. I myself have had DUIs. I have spent time in jail because of DUIs. I have lost tens of thousands of dollars to the mistakes that I have made. I have learned from them. I know it's incredibly ironic that, Doug, you're talking about DUIs and substance abuse, and yet you're drinking on your show. Well, there is a difference between doing it in moderation and responsibly and otherwise. Sup, CJ? Howdy, howdy. So there's a big, big difference between the choices I've made and the choices that he's made, but more to it than that. The predicament, these consequences that he has gone through in comparison to what people like myself go through that don't have the means that he does, that don't have the resources that he does, that don't have the network of friends and family that he does. It really itches at me. So you're going to have to pardon me for being a little passionate about today's show and about today's topic regarding Jeff Hardy, but I cannot help it. Okay? I just cannot help it. And I'll be honest, I kind of like seeing the hatred in the comments on the Wrestleview when it comes to the history that I have posted. It makes me smile. What can I say? You know, if you haven't checked it out, please do. That article that I wrote chronicling Jeff Hardy's entire history regarding substance abuse, regarding ins and outs with various wrestling federations, regarding everything, took me a good 7 hours to put together. Xantrix asking for a link. Seriously, just go to WrestleView.com. It's a featured article on there. Go ahead and check it. You can go ahead and I did put the article in the Facebook group. Go ahead and check it. Read along with me. Okay. But during that, we will kind of, again, look over his history. Also go over what I believe is one of the darkest, most humiliating, most embarrassing moments in all of professional wrestling, and that is Victory Road 2011 from TNA. But also, I'll give you, if I haven't already, I'll give you my 2 cents about where exactly I live, and also relation to everything that he has gone through with the charges that he was given, and the charges that I was given, and what I went through. So, yeah. Hey, Jeff Hardy, double E, hi. Yeah, Hardy's, sure. All right. What are we gonna do here? Let's see. First, we're gonna take a sip of the sources. We're gonna get ready for this. We're gonna crunch our knuckles a little bit, stretch a little bit, because the Fiend has come. Oh yeah, we got the debut of the guy. I got some thoughts about that one. All right, hey, look at Braun Strowman. He's got a guy up on his shoulders. That looks like it looks like Burden up there. All right, let's start this off with Bork Laser coming on over to the ring with his bright, shiny new Universal title that he's gotten for the 3rd time because he cashed in the Money in the Bank contract over at Extreme Rules. Kind of amazing that everyone was calling for him and some not calling for him to do this during the pay-per-view, but it happened. So yeah, Bork Laser is our Universal Champion once again. They head on over to the ring. Paul Heyman gets on the mic and, talks up the good deal about Bork Laser and everything. and kind of brings up, if I don't know if you heard, but I'm the one that has all the stroke around here right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So we kind of broke a fourth wall there. So now we know, and it's brought out into light. Well, not necessarily brought into light, but that, yeah. So to display Heyman's genius, he's come up with a plan. They're going to have a cross-branded top 10 all-star battle royale to make sure who we get to determine who gets beaten, victimized, and brutalized by Lesnar at SummerSlam. This is going to encompass Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Big E, Cesaro, Braun Strowman, Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns. Those are the top 10 peoples that are going to be doing this. Kind of interesting note here, Sami Zayn narrowly escaping the milk carton this week. I guess it's because he mentioned AEW the last time he had a microphone. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. All right, good opener to the show. That's what we're going to have. Blah, 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 blah. But as they're exiting their way out of the ring, out comes Ricochet making his entrance because he is going to be in a 6-man tag. And, of course, there's an extra caveat of a 2 out of 3 falls match involving Ricochet and the Usos versus the Revival and Robert Roode? Robert Roode's no longer chasing after the 24/7 title. Apparently, he's now friends with the Revival and in a pseudo program with Ricochet. Huh? Well, that's interesting. Also, we're going to have some other things happening here, including a fatal 4-way match for women to determine the challenger for Bayley's Raw Women's title. And we're also going to be seeing Finn Balor take on Samoa Joe. 2 out of 3 falls, 6-man tag, Ricochet and the Usos versus Revival and Robert Roode. It goes 2-1. Revival and Robert Roode go ahead and take it via pinfall when Ricochet goes to Ricochet and the Usos won this. Mike, when Ricochet hit the 630. Yeah. Mike, you need to go to the website, edit that. Just letting you know. Sorry, dude. And after the match, Ricochet, he's all happy and everything, and then there goes AJ Styles giving a phenomenal forearm to Ricochet. That's a really nice flip sell by Ricochet. Ricochet go I love saying that. Quentin, Mike is fired. No, I don't know if that's gonna really happen. No, but no, Mike is not. Mike is not fired. I can't. Everyone in the chat room, go ahead and do it. CJ, go ahead and do it. Daniel, it's so great to just go All right, I'm having a fun time right now. This is gonna be a good show. All right, AJ runs in on the runs in on Ricochet after this match. Fun stuff. Mikey, I am 1,000,000% over this no wrestling during commercials thing. It's so dumb to watch them fly through the first 2 falls like they're nothing. It kills any chance of having a good match. It's got to go. Good beatdown post-match. Yeah. There you go, everyone in the chat room. There you go. My 2 cents on this. It's starting to get passe, this 2 out of 3 falls thing. It's really starting to wear. Okay. It's now really starting to put a highlighter on what your filler matches are. Okay, we'll go ahead and just put it that way. Don't really need to be doing it that much. Okay. Yeah. You're really killing it right now. Viking Raiders are standing backstage in dimly lit areas because they're gonna be going against some jobbers again, and that's what they do. There you go. We're just going to toss little white guys into the ring, and the big white guys are going to beat up the little white guys, and that's how it goes. Ooh. Yeah, that's what happens. We pick up the big white guy, and we chuck him into the smaller white guy. So, yeah. That's how it goes. Say it for loud. What am I supposed to say louder for everyone in the back, CJ? Whee! No, I don't think that's what I'm supposed to say for everyone in the back. Just have, yeah. Yeah, so here we go again. Viking Raiders beating up jobbers. That's fun. Okay. Oh, the filler match thing? Yes. It is a filler match. It always has been. The six-man tags, the tag team matches that aren't really tag teams. I understand a month ago when they started doing this whole best 2 out of 3 falls thing or doing an elimination style thing. Totally understand why you do it at the beginning, but when you're doing it every week for 4 to 5 straight weeks, it becomes passe real quick. We're getting a video package of The Undertaker and Roman Reigns defeating Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules. That's good. Earlier today, Drew McIntyre was walking backstage. Then he goes into the locker room, sees Cedric Alexander, Finn Balor, No Way Jose, and the Street Profits all just hanging out and enjoying a good time as they're all facing one direction. You're sitting as a group, but you're all facing one direction so that the camera can see you. I don't know when there's ever been a time where I've been with a group of my friends and, we've gone to we're going to a bar or we're hanging out at someone's house, but we are all sitting in a half circle so that when people approach us, they can see all of us and who we are. I don't know if that's ever happened. One thing, here's an oddball side note when it comes to segments and vignettes that are done on the WWE when it comes to Raw and Smackdown, and something that they deviated from here. It's been a while since we've seen anyone watching a television from an odd angle. You never noticed that? It's been a while. I want to say it's almost been around about the same time that we've been getting 6-man tags and tag team matches that are 2 out of 3 falls or elimination style. I'm just going to go out there and put it, never before do you watch a television, like if it's sitting here behind me and I do it only from the peripheral view so that you can see who I am and what I'm watching on the TV. You don't see those oddball angles anymore. It's weird. It's kind of odd. Something we should pay attention to more often. Almost like the lighting that happens in the 3rd hour of Raw. Analysis. Something that should be done more often when it comes to these television shows. It's just my sources talking. That's all I gotta say. Whee! All right, Drew McIntyre approached all these peoples in the locker room and said the time has come for him to disembowel and dismember Alexander. Alliteration. McIntyre then says that's illegal, but he's going to humble him. He says he's going to eviscerate him, I think. Alexander says he's been told in the past that he's humble, but tonight the joke's going to be on McIntyre. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, so here we go. Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. This was kind of a fun match. And who'd have thunk it? Coming up with a pinfall flash win is Cedric Alexander. Yeah, McIntyre tried going for the Amabala Slam. I call it Amabala Slam because it's an inverted Alabama Slam, so it's Amabala. I kind of like how that just kind of rolls off. You call it Amabala Slam. Tried going for that thing, but Alexander rolled him up for the win. So there you go. Good call for him. There was a lot of comments about Cedric Alexander pulling this one off. I'll bet Mike said something like that. Good win for Cedric Alexander, he says, but it's weird for him to go over Drew McIntyre, who was booked so strong against Reigns and Undertaker last night, unless Alexander is being positioned as a mainstay in the upper echelon. This is questionable. No. This is not something to position Cedric Alexander on the upper tier. It's just so that you know that he's on the roster. It's so that you know that he's more than just running after the 24/7 title. It's something more than just, being around a group of wrestlers when something more important is happening. He's not just a part of No Way Jose's conga line. But also, everyone, and Andrew bringing it up, Drew McIntyre's buried. Oh, he's buried. He's no longer relevant. Really? Are we really going to be thinking that just one match destroys everything that you've done to build up someone like Drew McIntyre? After everything that he's done against Roman Reigns, against Braun Strowman, against Seth Rollins, you really? One match against Cedric Alexander quashes all of that. Really? Huh. Wow. Well, man, I didn't know Cedric Alexander was that big of a deal. I didn't think that was happening. Yeah, the comparisons that I make with regards to Cedric Alexander being going over Drew McIntyre via roll up. Shelton Benjamin. Same thing happened with him, right? Where I think he was put over Triple H. He was almost put over Shawn Michaels. This is done all the time. When it comes to a talent that you kind of forget about a little bit, but then they come back and they put him in a match with an upper echelon guy, and then suddenly, boom, they're relevant. But we'll see if Cedric Alexander doesn't Shelton Benjamin this opportunity. Okay. What do I see going for him? He'll tag team up with some upper echelon guys. I could see him, teaming up with Roman Reigns here and then. He'll do some 6-man tags with the Usos. He'll be a nice peripheral character. Okay, we'll just put it that way. But it's not like we're propping him up really high. Okay? Cedric Alexander, for crying out loud. Okay? Come on. It's not like we're dropping Drew McIntyre down a rung. It's not like we're going to see Drew McIntyre chasing for the 24/7 title. Come on. Think a little bit. Have some patience. Try it. It's hard. Finn Balor says he lost, but he needs to keep moving forward. He's talking about the match that he lost with the Samoa Joe. He wants his title back, but tonight Samoa Joe stands in his way. He doesn't care if he has to go up and over him or through him. He'll find a way to keep moving forward. So he must be part of the wild card thing, right? I know the wild card thing is not happening anymore, but let's go back over the 10 people that are in this cross-branded thingy. We've got Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, SmackDown. Big E, SmackDown. Cesaro, Braun Strowman, Rey Mysterio, Karen Corbin, Sami Zayn, SmackDown. Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, SmackDown. Do they count for the wild card thingy? Probably not. Who the hell cares? Finn Balor is here on the wild card, and it's something that I bring up. Some people are. I don't want to say that they're angry or whatnot. Keep on saying the bad things about the wild card and how they've just gone away from it. Well, it's true. There's no longer a brand split. It's the titles that stay on their respective shows. Okay? It's the titles that are staying on their respective shows. Okay? And what's more is Kit saying no wild card anymore. It's just a free-for-all. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just they had to try to find a way of saying that there just isn't a brand split anymore. And this was the best way to put it. Kid also saying it's a good thing about the wild card is the Survivor Series won't be red versus blue. Well, that makes for great fantasy booking. And boy, do I love fantasy booking. Brand split re-engaging in October, says CJ, due to the Fox TV deal that'll be coming up in October. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And it kind of destroys the idea that I almost had of Brock Lesnar becoming the WWE champion over in SmackDown. So are we still looking at Shane McMahon potentially being the WWE champion on SmackDown coming in October? Yeah, we're still kind of looking at that. Charlie, elsewhere backstage, Samoa Joe says he's been waiting. He'll be wanting to hand Balor another loss. He's making his entrance out to the ring. Charlie Caruso's backstage with Roman Reigns. He talks about winning the SB for defeating leukemia again, and all kinds of other stuff. And he says he's going to win the Battle Royale coming up later on. So, yeah. Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. Samoa Joe's got a black eye from his match against Kofi Kingston last night at Extreme Rules. Pretty much a ho-hum match. Balor gets in some kicks, applies a side headlock before taking him down, but then Joe countered into a crucifix for the win. There was no choking out or tapping out. This was kind of a wham bam thank you ma'am match. Yeah. So we got the wham bam thank you ma'am. Samoa Joe wins. Joe immediately attacks him and applies a coquina clutch. Kicks out, double stomps him. Yeah. No, that's how it goes. Balor hits the coup de grace, but then Joel rolls out of the ring in pain. Balor celebrating that he got the comeuppance, but then suddenly we go all disco, and we have the lights going out, weird sounds, and then out comes Bray Wyatt with weird strobe lights and flashing around and all kinds of stuff, and he delivers Sister Abigail to the Finn Balor. All right. First off, Mike saying, great to see Bray Wyatt make his return as the Fiend by attacking Balor. Could they be going for the Fiend versus the Demon at SummerSlam? We've got some talks about that. As for the Balor-Joe match, that stunk. Joe wins, and then Balor makes the comeback and wipes him out, rendering Joe's win meaningless. Yes. All right. First off, my impressions of the debut on Raw of Bray Wyatt in the Fiend getup. You know, all that was missing was for him to eat worms. Because, yeah, this is all I'm really seeing right now. Right now, Bray Wyatt, to me, is not going to be doing stuff in the ring. He's not going to be performing any matches in the ring. No. We're just going to see Bray Wyatt appearing and attacking people. That's about it. Nothing else. Yeah. I really don't see anything going right now with the Bray Wyatt character. I don't see him having a match. I don't know if he's going to have a match at SummerSlam. News on that with regards to Finn Balor. Okay? So, I don't know. You know, guys are saying that Mike sounded like an old man lately. Well, age, okay? Age happens, okay? I'm turning the big 4-0 this year. You got to kind of tuck away the angry old man stuff when you know that you're not being sold to anymore. At the same time, you just take stuff with a grain of salt, you know, and you just let it pass, you know. You be glad in knowing how old you are and what you've experienced in relation to everyone who seems to have a louder voice but not know as much as you do. Yeah. I relish in that feeling on a daily basis, especially when I'm on the interwebs. You guys will have that feeling too, okay, if you haven't got it already. Okay, so Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, showing up on Raw. To me, it's the boogeyman. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see him being a big deal. Oh, you guys saying we for Sister Abigail? You guys are saying we? Okay, I'll go and say we. I just go we. Okay. No. You don't say we to Sister Abigail. You say we when the little critters are up in the air. Okay. Drake Maverick walks into a hotel lobby with his wife. Her name is Shell, who is a hot piece. Maverick whispers to the man that he is registered under Mr. and Mrs. 24/7 champion. She's not happy about that. Maverick asks for the best room and an expensive bottle of champagne. Maverick pays in cash and they walk off. R-Truth then comes out from behind the desk, asks if Hornswoggle is staying in the hotel. R-Truth tips the man a $1, and he looks on the computer. Yeah. Fun stuff. The Street Profits then watch what just happened with R-Truth on the monitor, and so our minstrels, the Street Profits, start talking about the women's fatal four-way, and then they start talking about the Battle Royale, and they want Rollins wants all the smoke. So there you go. Yep, Street Profits, our wandering, traveling, musical minstrels. It's what they are, to fill us in on what's going on the show in that nice little black way that they know how to. That's not racist. They just do it better than I could. It's the only term that I can think of. Sorry. Maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm old that I just don't get it. You know? Maybe it's because I'm just so angry with Jeff Hardy. I don't know. But it's true. Thank you, CJ, for laughing at it. Okay? Thank you. Okay? I feel fine now. Okay? I feel fine now. Zack Ryder is in the ring already because he's going to have a match here. Mike Bennett, also known as Mike Kanellis, is backstage when Maria Kanellis comes up to him. She says that she is going to be wrestling in the match. Mike reminds her that she's pregnant, but then she says Mike is a loser and she has a better chance of defending their unborn child's honor than he does, and she walks out. Ref stops Maria. Mike runs down. Mike says he's got this. The bell rings. Ryder immediately hits him with the Rough Rider and wins. Maria says on the mic that she should have wrestled. Her unborn child had a better chance of beating Ryder in a wrestling match than Mike did. Yeah. So, it's been a while since we've had a program that does not involve, like, opposing forces. You know what I'm talking about? It's been a while since we've had a program that does not involve a heel versus a face. Instead, we have a program or a storyline that is completely one-sided. I'm not saying that that's why this is compelling. It's not really. I'm not saying that's why this is entertaining, because it kind of isn't. It's just interesting that we are getting this. That we're getting a storyline that is completely one-sided. What is the end game with this? What is the end game here? Are we what are we propping up here? Like, what are we doing with this? There's a difference between having filler matches of 6-man tags with unnecessary stipulations, or a difference between having a tag team match that involving just 4 separate people that actually have 2 separate programs going on with each other. There's a difference between filler matches and filler storylines. All right? The 24/7 title is a filler storyline. It doesn't involve a match whatsoever, but is so entertaining. This is not. Okay? Is there something to where Mike Kanellis is going to get a win? Or that he's going to have some pride? Or is this where Maria just dumps him? Reveals that she's not really pregnant? I'm pretty sure she is. I don't get it. Okay? I really do not get it. I guess I totally get the female chopping down the man to make him feel less. I totally get that and all, but I still don't understand what the end game is. More to it. Okay, God. And I will stop talking about this after I make this point. What fan or what viewer is supposed to be identifying with this? Okay? Like, when we watch wrestling, or when other fans watch wrestling, they have their favorites, and, but they also enjoy watching someone get a comeuppance, or someone succeeding, or, identifying with someone who is in a certain plight. I Who is identifying with this? Who is your audience for this storyline? And is your audience for this storyline actually watching your show in the first place? Are there a lot of women or men that are just completely humiliated and embarrassed by their significant other that they're watching this and they're going, yeah, Maria, you go tell them, you go show them, you go, girl? Are there people that are watching this that feel emasculated or, completely made like an object, that are watching this and identifying with Mike going, yeah, damn it, Mike, stand up for yourself. Show her wrong. I don't get it. I totally understand what could be, and Tim brings it up in the chat, possibly leading him to realize he no longer needs Maria, tells her to go to hell, she goes off TV to have the baby, and in the meantime, this might favor Mike. I mean, that's fine, but if that is the case, and we are supposed to prop up Mike for this, who are you propping him up against? Kurt Hawkins? Zack Ryder again? Yeah, this is, yeah. I don't get it. That's enough of that. Club's going to be in action. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson going against Lucha House Party. Yep, this is your filler 6-man tag. The Club wins by submission when Styles applies the calf crusher to Kalisto for the win. Styles would hold that calf crusher on for a few minutes longer. Styles then boots Kalisto out of the ring. Ricochet would come out during this match and attack AJ Styles. But then that would also lead, I believe, to other people coming up. Yeah, the officials coming up to break him up and everything. So, yeah. How was the Ricochet attack not a DQ? I don't know. Yeah, Ricochet came out and attacked AJ Styles during the match, but the bell was not rung. Unless the referee did not see the whole thing happen. Well, he did. I don't know. I don't know why that did not happen. Seth Rollins is backstage. He gives us some great lines about why he's going to win the Battle Royale. Replays are shown of the Disco Fiend Bray Wyatt making his attack. Fatal 4-way elimination match, I think, involving Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross in tow, Carmella, Naomi, and Natalya. Yeah, fatal 4-way elimination match is what this is. Carmella is eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Naomi ends up in a nice little surfboard thingy here, but then Alexa Bliss tries to get the pin on Natalya, which was a really neat spot. Really, really neat spot. That's a really neat spot. Naomi was eliminated by Natalya. Yeah. And then after that, Natalya makes Bliss tap out. But the big story about this match, and there is a big story, is the crowd chanting "This is awful" during the match, and also the crowd chanting lightly "End this match." So first off, we're in Long Island for this show. You know my thoughts about Long Island fans. Watch our Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view recap when I did my first ever recap solo. Huh. Yeah. You'll get my thoughts about Long Island. Crowd chanting "End this match." Crowd chanting "This is awful" in a Fatal 4-Way elimination match involving women. This would lead to many on the Twitter lambasting how the WWE doesn't have a women's evolution anymore. Lambasting the WWE how they can't put on an entertaining Fatal 4-Way women's match. How it bores the fans. As if the fans aren't at fault. As if the fans are not predominantly male. Yeah. It is, again, times like these that I say that there are times when the WWE should not take live televised shows to certain areas of the world. Long Island is one of them. There's a difference between being smarky from the Northeast. Okay, you've got your Madison Square Garden crowds. You got your Boston Garden crowds. I mean, you got your Philly crowds. You had a Philly crowd at Extreme Rules, okay? None of those fans would do what I think the Long Island fans did. And, yeah. Kenko, going honestly, look at the Seth versus Baron match from 2 pay-per-views ago. Within 10 seconds, they were shitting on it. It's all about the crowd wanting to get themselves over. I guess it is. It is about the crowd wanting to get themselves over to make themselves part of the show and everything. But, yeah. I will not understand Northeastern fans. For the life of me, I won't. But I'm sure a lot of them would probably say differently about us Charlotte fans in that we don't cheer at all. No. And that's why I loved having the discussion that I had with Roy and Mike and Victoria with regards to fans and in these regional areas to where you have the casual fans sitting alongside with you and what the differences are in how they cheer and how they react. This crowd in particular, no. Full of men in their late 20s spending dad's money and mom's gas money to get to the show so they can feel important. Just to take out their frustrations because they don't have a job. Yeah, I'm putting it out there. Yeah, I've got to say it. Someone's got to say that shit. I'll say it. Because I got a microphone. And I have the sources. So we have Natalya is facing Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. And this is weird. Okay. Lynch grabs the microphone and says the man has something to say. Lynch says she doesn't care that she's hurting. She's here to fight. Nothing makes her happier than fighting. Lynch says she likes Natalya, but she's not meeting with her friend at SummerSlam. Natalya better step up or Lynch will wipe the floor with her in her home country, in Canada. Natalya's career needs something, and Lynch is it. And if there's one thing she's learned from this is she does better in war than in love. Natalya says, well, I guess you're not a very good lover, bitch. Ooh, she said bitch. Ooh, she said bitch. Ooh. Natalya says she'll rip the greasy mop off of Lynch's head, pull the horseshoe out of her ass, and beat the hell out of her. They yell at each other before the referee breaks it up. So, brace yourselves. We have got another 4 weeks of Natalya and Becky Lynch on a microphone. Or we have them in tag team matches. Brace yourself. This is going to sting. This is going to sting hard. It's going to leave a scar. Yep. This is what we're getting, people. Natalya and Becky.
No, Tyson, no. Fuck me, please.
Right, I'm the Becky Lynch, and I'm going to pucker my lips and try to talk lower because I'm the man. Yeah. Mike, they worked hard, but the crowd turned on this something fierce. If they weren't deathly silent, they were chanting end this match or this is awful. Yikes. Good post-match interaction with Lynch and Natalya, but this was mostly dead. Yep, it was. Randy Orton is backstage. He says words. Now the Miz is making his entrance for Miz TV, and his guest is going to be Dolph Ziggler. This was interesting. Ziggler says he has introduces Dolph Ziggler, who requested to be on the show. Ziggler says he has his own problems, but he wanted to see if the rumors of Miz being a company yes man were true. Ziggler says Miz isn't trying to be the best. Was it worth it to kiss all that ass and not even be booked on the pay-per-view? Miz says he'd rather not be on a pay-per-view than lose to Kevin Owens in 17 seconds. Ziggler says that was Goldberg bad. What? But he has to find. It was Goldberg bad, but he has to find a way to. But Miz has to find a way, and Ziggler has to find a way to sleep at night. Miz has become everything he hates. Miz is a walking gimmick. He isn't from Long Island, yet he wears a Long Island t-shirt. He's from Cleveland. Ziggler says Miz is everything that's wrong with this business, and all Miz gives a damn about is fame and fortune, just like his wife. Miz immediately attacked Ziggler out of the ring. Ziggler immediately gets out of the ring and grabs his eyeballs. Miz is standing tall in the ring. I do find this one fascinating. Okay. Miz was not on the pay-per-view. He has been in filler tag team TV matches for the past 3 weeks. Thank God the program with him and Shane McMahon is dead. It's now time to find something to prop him up on. And this is good. This is very good for The Miz. For him to have kind of a realization of sorts, to have an epiphany. Yes, to have words. To have a realization of sorts. Yeah, that's what we're going to be getting here. You're going to see, I really think from this, first off, we're going to see Dolph and Miz coming up at SummerSlam. This is a build I can tolerate for the next 4 weeks. But keep an eye on The Miz, okay? Keep an eye on him for the remainder of this year. He is one, and he is a talent that I think could be really taking advantage of what the landscape is right now on Raw. Bork Laser's got the Universal title. He's not going to be on TV for a while. Seth Rollins, go ahead and be honest. His match with AJ Styles and the program that it was, being the freaking Honor Feud Respect Fest that it was, didn't really turn any heads. And what more to it, Seth Rollins is now just basically the side piece for Becky Lynch. Doesn't really help. Seeing The Miz as a babyface, yes, I agree, Andrew, is weird. It is incredibly weird. But he is a force on the microphone, regardless if he's a face or a heel. Something is going to be happening with The Miz throughout the remainder of this year. I really think. Something's going to be happening with him. Whether he becomes a face or a heel, I believe is irrelevant. He is a character that's going to build up. Am I saying he's going to face Bork Laser for the Universal title? In a clusterfuck match, maybe. One-on-one? Oh my God. Can you imagine The Miz going over Bork Laser? Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Doug, they would never do such a thing. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. So, keep an eye on The Miz for the remainder of this calendar year. Drake Maverick asks if Renee Michelle is ready. She said she's slipping into something more comfortable. Maverick removes his robe. He's wearing his 24/7 title over his private. Lays on the bed. Renee can't believe he's wearing the damn belt. There's a knock on the door. Room service comes in. Maverick is worried about his small package going away. The usher stays in the room, so Maverick goes to kick him out. Maverick realizes it's a referee. R-Truth sneaks up from under the table and rolls Maverick up for a 2 count. R-Truth then tackles him on the bed, wins the 24/7 title. R-Truth has the 24/7 title once again. Daddy's ready for love. I'm just going to kind of leave this here. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. That image right there is absolutely fantastic. Oh, our truth tackling the wee onto the bed. I'm gonna have to get that wee. Yeah, there we go. So, and then of course, yeah, Corey Graves having the zinger of the night, saying that he would have utilized a small package to win the 24/7 title, and Renee loves it. Mike Cole trying to get away from it. That was a great exchange. Great exchange. When Deanna and I inevitably and eventually marry, I will make sure to have a camera crew in our hotel room when we consummate. I'm just going to let that lay there for a while. You guys go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves. Whee! All right. Cross-branded All-Star Top 10 Battle Royal to determine who's going to face Bork Laser at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. People are going to get tossed up to the top rope. Okay, who are we going to get here? I'm just going to say who's going to get eliminated. We really don't need to be scientific about this shit, because Braun Strowman gets sidesteps the spear from Roman Reigns, and that topples over what looks like Seth Rollins. Oh no, Roman Reigns spearing Seth Rollins. Battle Royale. People are getting tossed over the ropes left and right. Randy Orton trying to go over, trying to get the RKO. Nope, he gets stomped. And Seth Rollins would have inevitably tossed him over the top rope. And so it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Bork Laser for the Universal title at SummerSlam. Card subject to change. Just putting it out there. Card subject to change. I think it's going to be a little more than just Rollins and Lesnar. We have 4 weeks to build to this thing. Roman Reigns speared Seth Rollins. So that's out there. Randy Orton needs something to do. Holy hell, is he a force right now? Even though he hadn't been on TV for a little over 3 weeks. There's a difference between Randy Orton not being on TV for a little over 3 weeks and Dolph Ziggler not being on TV for 8 months. Well, not 8 months. It was more like 6 months. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be happening. I am smelling a triple threat. I smell triple threat. This smells like a triple threat. Is what it smells like. I'm not going fatal four-way. I'm going a triple threat on this one. What did everyone think of the Monday Night Raws? 54% gave it a thumbs down, and that is par for the course because, as we all know, Raw is always a horrible show because everybody watches Raw. All right. My sources are low. My sources are low. I need more. I need more sources. I need more sources. I demand happy sauce. I demand the happy stuff because we are smart people. We know everything about professional wrestling. We got to display our knowledge. We are smart. Yes. All right. CJ saying it's also let's spit game. People mad that Brock is champion again, but the dude is consistent. Very. Brock is very consistent. I love Bork. Okay, I got no problem with Bork. The only problem, cheers, Quentin. The only thing that I have is as long as you have Bork Laser as champion, you've got to keep reminding us that he is. And it's not just the guy going up against him bitching that he is, like Seth Rollins. You've got to have Paul Heyman on TV nearly every week. And so, with Paul Heyman now at the helm of Raw, coming up probably post SummerSlam, that's what we're going to be getting. So I believe that this Bork Laser title run is going to be a lot better than his previous one because we're going to be constantly reminded that he's the champion. I think that's what's going to be happening. There you go. So, Gills, I miss you not knowing shit about professional wrestling. I'm sorry. The smarts come as they go, okay? It happens, all right? Maybe it's because my baseball team is not doing so good, so I can invest my time and knowledge on the things that are actually important. The Indians are only 6.5 back of the Twins, so they're making a comeback, and they're tied for the second slot of the wild card. So it's okay. Yes. Is it going to be a short or a long run? Asks Andrew about the Bork Laser. No, you've got to have Bork Laser having the title going into WrestleMania. That is a no-brainer. You've got to have Bork Laser having the title going into WrestleMania. You kidding me? He's the ultimate heel. He's the perfect foil for anyone you're wanting to build up as a babyface to go into WrestleMania. Yeah, take your pick. Am I looking at the Miz Bork Laser at WrestleMania? You damn right I am. I'll have the Miz win in the Royal Rumble. I'm not locking that. I know one thing I did lock, though, was Shane McMahon becoming the WWE champion at some point in time this year. But I'm still standing by that. It's something that I'm going to have to live with. I'm sure I will be feeling the effects if it doesn't happen. But speaking of SmackDown, speaking of the Blue Show, we better start talking about that Blue Show. Roy and Em are back at the helm, manning the SmackDown recaps. I hope you guys enjoyed reading the recaps that I was writing. Hope you enjoyed it. CJ still wants Big E versus Bork. Maybe. But that's going to be for a long time. That's going to be a long time. All right, so we start off the show with Kevin Owens getting kicked out of the arena by Shane McMahon before the show. Shane tells him he has the night off and he doesn't need to be in the building. So we're starting off the show with a SmackDown Live Town Hall, where all of the WWE SmackDown superstars are at the ramp. Shane McMahon is in the ring, and he allows the superstars on the ramp to air their grievances to Shane McMahon. But of course, Shane McMahon, as the announcer, tell him that he's the best in the world. So everyone on the ramp gets to say their piece, if they so choose, just as long as they aren't disrespectful or anything like that. Then Shane will be kind of angry. Shane says that Kevin Owens has the night off, but Owens did give him an idea, and that was to have this town hall. So he asks who would like to go up first, and up steps Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says no one in the room respects Shane, and as far as diplomacy goes, Shane can kiss his ass, and Roman starts walking backstage. Shane says that's not respectful. He'll be fine, and he'll deal with him later. Shane asks for someone else. Charlotte Flair steps up to a microphone, says that was completely uncalled for. Charlotte says that from one family to another, thank you. Thank you, Shane and the McMahon family, for being nothing but gracious to her since the day she was born. And it makes her sick to her stomach that Kevin should take advantage of her kindness. Liv Morgan cuts her off and tells her to stop being such a phony. She asks Charlotte if there's anything real about her. Charlotte asks her who she is and if she even works here. Morgan says it's because of people like Charlotte that people like her don't even get an opportunity. Well, Shane cuts them off, and he asks Buddy Murphy to speak. Buddy Murphy, he starts calling up all the people that Kevin Owens was rattling off last week that haven't had an opportunity. So I'm kind of at the edge of my seat here. We're talking about people who are on the milk carton, and they might be getting some TV time here. So I'm like, oh, Buddy Murphy. We had Liv Morgan. We're going to get Buddy Murphy to talk. Buddy says that Kevin Owens mentioned his name last week, but he doesn't need Owens to fight his battles, and maybe Kevin should keep his name out of his mouth, or else he'll slap it out of his mouth. So we're going to build to a Buddy Murphy, Kevin Owens side program to lead up to Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon. 2 thumbs up for that one. 2 thumbs up for that one. Shane was happy to hear that and says that they'll talk about that later. But then Shane asks Apollo Crews to talk. Andrew saying Shane looks at the milk carton. I'm pretty sure the WWE looks at the milk carton. Okay. Apollo says that he has something to say. He says everybody, including himself, agrees with what Kevin Owens said last week. But then Zelina Vega and Andrade step up. Zelina says that she doesn't appreciate that Apollo is trying to kiss up to the WWE Universe, and that Zelina asks Apollo to prove his worth in the ring tonight against Andrade. But then Andrade says Spanish, Mexicanese stuff and calls out Apollo, we think. Strum of the Qatar, Elias steps up, says hello. He is not Kevin Owens, but he is Elias. But then Xavier Woods cuts him off along with Big E. They insult Elias. Kofi says that he doesn't like Kevin Owens, but he's making some good points. Kofi asks, how long did it take for him to get a shot at the WWE title? Way too long. And for everyone on the stage has the potential to do great things. But then Shane cuts off Kofi's microphone. Shane says that's the WWE champ, and he apologizes for his microphone going off, and that's going to do it for the town hall. I was let down because there was other people that Kevin Owens mentioned in his diatribe last week that didn't speak, and I wanted AOP to talk. I'm only saying that because, okay, I'm a mark for AOP. I like the AOP. They were exiting Baron Corbin's locker room saying they were glad to have talked with him back last month. I wanted to know more. More to the point, not all of AOP was there. Only one half of AOP was there. I wanted to know what's going on. I'm just curious what's going on. You know, AOP. Big guys that make me feel uncomfortable. Where are they? Big guys I enjoyed watching at NXT. Being led around by a white elderly gentleman. Where? What are you doing? Cesaro steps in from amongst all the crowd as they are exiting and says that he's got something to say. Shane says, well, you're on Raw, not SmackDown. Cesaro says that he's the wild card and he's here to challenge Aleister Black to pick a fight with him. Shane asks if that's what he wants tonight. Cesaro says yes, so Shane says you got your wish. So we got Cesaro versus Aleister Black to start off the show. Oh, why did I click that? Oh, okay. Yes. By the way, to leave off the show, Shane hopes that this demonstrated a few things. But, of course, before all of that happened, Kevin Owens would come out, and then I think we have the gift playing here. He would apply a botcherific stunner to Shane McMahon. Whoops. No, there we go. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Even the McMahons can botcherific something. Oh boy. Yeah, Shane screwed that one up. No, Owens screwed that up big time. Can we watch this delivery again? Okay. Yeah. I think Owens screwed this up more than Shane did. Well, I don't know. You know, I did. It was really bad. Okay. It was really, really bad. Okay. Cesaro versus Aleister Black. This is definitely not the 10 to 12 minute beautiful match that we had for them on the pay-per-view last Sunday. Instead, this was close to a wham bam thank you ma'am, but it encompassed in a commercial break. Yeah, Aleister Black would hit Cesaro with the Black Mass after popping him up with the foot, and he got the win and the pin. So, yeah. Dolph Ziggler's backstage. He tells Shane someone should teach Kevin Owens a lesson. It should be him tonight. Shane McMahon says that Kevin Owens has probably left the building. Well, Ziggler says he could try to make it happen. Shane tells Ziggler, if you can make it happen, then the match is on. But last week, that was your main event, Shane. Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens was your main event last week. They got into a fight backstage, and you kicked Kevin Owens out of the building. But now suddenly you don't have a problem with him being in the main event? Going against the guy that he initially beat up? But I don't get it. Why you do this? But Shane, you're making this the main event of the night, but this was your main event you could have had last week. But they fought backstage, and you didn't like it that they did, so you didn't make it, but now you're making it tonight, and Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. My brain hurts. Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. I was really looking forward to this match, okay? I was really, really looking forward to this. Liv Morgan is off the milk carton. Haven't seen her since the Superstar Shakeup episode, I believe, where she was at ringside during the match between Becky Lynch and Ruby Riott. So, all right, let's get back on track. Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. This was a fun match, okay? Told great story. Liv Morgan has got some babyface heat coming up to her, especially when you're going against a 6-footer like Charlotte. Hit her with a Hurricane Rana during the match, but then tried to go to the well a second time. Instead, Charlotte Flair power bombs her, puts her in the figure 4 into the figure 8, and Liv Morgan taps out. Yeah. After the match, Liv Morgan violently grabs Corey Graves' headset. Violently grabs it. Okay? Hey, Nafisa Dot, you're not late to the party. Liv Morgan violently grabbing Corey Graves' headset and says, Charlotte was right, and when I come back, I'm going to be real. And slams the headset down. This I am very interested in. Okay? She's been off TV for nearly over 3 months. Okay? And already had a good promo against Charlotte up on the ramp. Put together a great babyface and peril match and comeuppance match against her in the ring. And now we're looking at a potential repackage going on with her. Okay? She has been doing new movesets in the ring in dark matches during the SmackDown tour. She is incredibly active on the Twitter. Incredibly active. I am very, very, very curious about this. Okay? What kind of character are we going to get out of her? Okay? Are we going to get like the photo negative of Alexa Bliss? I don't know. I cannot see her coming back looking normal, though. Andrew brings it up there. What if she comes back looking normal? She has, for one thing, her physique and her look is comparable to Alexa Bliss. Okay? Same height, blonde hair, different attire. Okay? The attire can be changed. But she says she's going to come back and she's going to be real. So what exactly does that entail? Are you getting rid of all of the stuff that sets you apart from everyone else? I am curious, but I'm also scared in that it was the look in the blue tongue that set her apart from everyone else, but I fear that she is going to come back and seem like an independent wrestler. You see what I'm kind of grabbing at here? You know, just having the name and looking normal and doing moves and looking normal. No, I don't know. I don't, maybe just changing the attire. Keep the blue tongue, but change the attire. Change your hair. Change a look about you. Change your makeup. One of the biggest things when it comes to female performers is that they have a lot of cake on their face. But just the slightest alterations to the cake makes a world of difference. Okay? Just the slightest. You don't see Charlotte doing the stupid little stars on her eyebrow anymore like she did about 2-3 years ago because she's a bad girl now. But she did it as a baby face too. Bayley was doing that, but now she's not doing that anymore. I've got a feeling we're going to be seeing Alexa. We're going to be seeing. Here, I got it. Just Freudian slip right there. We're going to be seeing Liv Morgan with a different attire, different haircut, different makeup, but keeping the blue tongue because that's her. She loves the Blue Jolly Ranchers. What can we say? You know, what can we say? Andrew, except Dana Brooke, oh boy, she needs cake back. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. Yeah, CJ's right. Even Ronda Rousey toned down the cake later on in her run throughout her year with the company. Man, I was not a fan of all the eye makeup that Ronda Rousey had. She toned it down. She looked badass, okay? I don't think women need as much cake on their face, okay? Alexa Bliss pulls it off perfectly, okay? She pulls it off perfectly. Ember Moon can turn it down, okay? You know, try to look normal a little bit, you know? Try to look a little normal, you know? Nikki Cross pulls it off perfectly because she's the awkward one of the female roster. Yeah. Wanda Rousey would be a great addition right now. Well, I dare you to go into some Reddit threads, into some forums, and tell people that you miss Ronda Rousey and watch what happens. Watch what happens. Everyone who hated that Ronda Rousey was a main event on Raw TV every time, that she was this John Cena of the Raw Women's title, you watch what happens. They'll agree with you. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Ember Moon, and her surprise tag team partner was not going to be Carmella. It was going to be Bayley. It's Bayley. Ember Moon and Bayley win the match. After the match, Kayla. Hey, Kayla! That's my new favorite thing. I love Billy Kay in the Iconics, and I love it when they approach Kayla from SmackDown for the interviewers. I love it. Kevin Owens lampooned it. I fucking love it. It is my new favorite thing right now. It is my new favorite. Hey, Kayla! You gotta be joking me! Wow, I did that pretty good. Wow, I can hit that high register pretty good. Man, I don't know if it's because of the sources. Hey, Kayla! Okay. All right. So Kayla is interviewing Bayley and Ember Moon, and she asks Bayley who her opponent at SummerSlam is going to be. Bayley says that she's happy her chapter with Alexa Bliss is over. Now she can go back to elevating the SmackDown division. She says her opponent should be someone with charisma, she's never faced before, someone dedicated to the title, and looks at Ember Moon, and so okay. So we're going to get Ember Moon going against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title at SummerSlam. And Ember Moon, who has been in limbo since coming to SummerSlam, since the Superstar Shakeup back in April, who was overshadowed by Bayley making her entrance to SmackDown on the Superstar Shakeup. It begins. Now it begins. The hopeful swerve of Ember Moon. The hopeful swerve of how she is jealous of Bayley making her debut at SmackDown at the same time that she did, to overshadow her, to eclipse her, and become SmackDown Women's Champion before she could. This is a very slow, simmering swerve. This is going to be a slow one. We got 4 weeks till SummerSlam. This is going to be a slow roll boil, is what this is going to be. You're going to see them continue to compete as tag team. You may see them team up against the Iconics for the tag team titles. Something happens. Something snaps. It can't be something as simple as someone getting an inadvertent blow on the other during a tag team match. It cannot be that. It has to be something different. Okay? What if they became tag team champions in between that time? What if they were to lose the women's tag team titles to the Kabuki Warriors? This can happen. This can all happen. But anything to engage in a slow roll boil for Ember Moon to become a heel and make this match way better than what it sounds like right now at SummerSlam. Oh my God, this would sound so much better than Natalya Becky Lynch at SummerSlam, period. Period. Right now, the two women's matches that you have going on for SummerSlam stink. They stink. How can we alter this? It is way easier to make Bayley Ember Moon more palatable than Natalya Becky Lynch. Way easier. Gil's saying the Iconics must be champions forever. Oh, okay, so we have them in a triple threat and they win the titles back. I love the Iconics. Don't get me wrong. None of this is to denigrate the Iconics. The Iconics should be tag team champions for all eternity. They have to lose it at some point, but they will always regain it back. Okay? So, yeah. Fantasy booking out my ass right now. I gotta stop. Shinsuke Nakamura is backstage with his Intercontinental title. He says, I am flea to laying down chaos. Yes. But then he turns around and Ali is standing right there, and Ali congratulates him and then walks away. Ali has now finally made a appearance after being all inspirational and memey shit. So we're going to get Ali versus Nakamura potentially at SummerSlam in a pre-show match. The New Day is going to be celebrating because they got all the gold. Xavier Woods says at Extreme Rules, Kofi dismantled Samoa Joe. Kofi says they dethroned Rowan and Daniel Bryan to become the new 6-time WWE World Tag Team Champions. I do like that they do that. Kofi says to look at them now, like 3 African-American leprechauns at the end of the rainbow. They have all the gold. Big E says they all know what Daniel Bryan's announcement is going to be here later on in the show. That's so before they have to sit through a 10-minute speech about the planet, we'll just accept the rematch right here, right now. Daniel Bryan's music hits, comes out with Rowan. He's got the microphone, but then he walks back to the back. Then they both walk out again. Then they walk back to the back. Then they walk out again, go all the way to the foot of the ramp. Then they walk back. Not saying a word, not doing anything. Earlier in the show, Daniel Bryan says he understands what he has to do right now to get the titles back, but never really said. So, yeah, we're not doing that. Samoa Joe's music hits, and he walks out. Joe says it seems like Daniel Bryan is not in the mood for championship opportunities, but he is. Joe says, tells Kofi to put his WWE title on the line tonight. Just as Joe is speaking, Elias makes his way to the ring. Elias tells Joe that he's had his chance at Extreme Rules and it didn't work out. And if someone is ready to take that title away from him, it's Kofi. It's him. But then out comes Randall Orton. Randy Orton says he's sorry, but it's been a while since he's had gold around his waist. Tells Kofi he'll take that and he'll do so using the RKO. Elias says they can't all have championship matches tonight, so at least they can send a message to the New Day. Woods is asking if they're suggesting a 6-man tag. Big E says that sounds like a challenge. Kofi says the championship huddle, and the 3 men agree. Orton says no. Walks away. Kofi says you would think that the Viper would be up and ready to strike at any time, but it looks like he's gone a little limp. Ha! Dick joke. Okay, so we got a 6-man tag with no stipulations. Imagine that. A 6-man tag filler match on WWE TV with no stipulations. It's not elimination style. It's not 2 out of 3 falls. CJ's got to bounce. Bounce away, CJ. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Filler 6-man tag. There you go. Later, CJ. Whee! Oh, you got a busted leg. I'm sorry. Whee! Your winners of this 6-man tag filler match were the heels of Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Elias. As Orton hit the RKO on Kofi to get the win. So we know what's happened at SummerSlam. We're going to get a Randall Orton, Kofi Kingston match at SummerSlam, it looks like. Yep. Carmella's backstage looking for R-Truth. He's hiding in some old washing machine backstage. Truth says he is stuck as Carmella helps him out. Carmella says that she has a better idea for a hiding spot, tells him to go to Comic-Con. R-Truth says, no, don't call him a con. He's paid his debt to society. Carmella says, no, come with me. So now we're getting cosplay at a comic book convention hiding for the 24/7 title. For the love of fucking God, I love this 24/7 title. 2 months ago, people were complaining about how the belt looked. The people that going after it were just people who are never on TV. This is going to be shit. Oh, God, this is just a waste of my time. This is the greatest thing to ever happen. Okay? Seriously, this is fantastic. Okay? I know so many people have changed their tunes about the 24/7 title. I have been on it since the beginning. Okay? This is such good stuff. Women's tag team title match. The Iconics are defending against Japanese ladies and Paige. This match would never really get off the ropes because the Japanese ladies would win via countout. Royce with a kick into Asuka. Billy Kay tagged in. She goes for the cover. Asuka kicks out. Billy Kay talks trash to Asuka. Asuka kicks her in the head. Billy falls to the outside. Peyton is checking on Billy on the outside of the ring. Billy gets on the apron, looks at Royce. Royce pulls her away, and the ref counts to 10. Fantastic. Iconics are celebrating outside because they still have the title. Yeah. Andrade with Zelina Vega in tow versus Apollo Crews. Apollo's is getting in the ring. Andrade attacks him before the bell rings. Ref checks on Apollo. He's all good. Andrade attacks Apollo right away. Apollo fights back, but Andrade with the right hands. Andrade with the back elbow. Pulls Crews to the corner. Andrade with the running double knees. Goes for the cover. Apollo reverses it and gets the pin. So Cedric Alexander getting the pin on Drew McIntyre. Apollo, with his second match against Andrade, gets the comeuppance on him. So we'll probably have a rubber match coming up next week on SmackDown. Main event, Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, during the match, went for a super kick. Owens ducked it, hits a stunner, goes for the cover. Shane McMahon dragged Kevin Owens out of the ring. Kevin gives Shane a stunner and then runs to the back. This would not end in any way because during this match, while Owens and Ziggler are having their match, Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and the bad guys, the heels of SmackDown who agree with Shane McMahon, that would be people like Andrade, other people, Elias, Buddy Murphy walked out there as well. The B team was out there as well, and Akam of AOP, but not Razar. AOP was out there. It was even mentioned by Corey Graves, but only Akam was out there, and not Razar. I want to know what's happening. What's happening with my AOP? What's happening with my strong European badasses? What's happening to them? No contest. Kevin Owens runs out from the ring, and everyone else chases after him, and Drew McIntyre checks on Shane McMahon. So, there's your show. What did everyone think of the show? I'm giving it a thumbs down. It sounds kind of tepid. What did everyone think of the show? What did you think of SmackDown Live? 55% gave it a thumbs up. Well, it's typical. 55% of everyone who voted loved SmackDown, and as we all know, of course, SmackDown is always the better show because, say it in the chat room, if you're listening to me on demand on Spotify, SoundCloud, or iTunes, say it with me here in the next 5 seconds as I cite my sources. 2, 1. Nobody watches SmackDown. So, that's going to do it for those post-Extreme Rules Red Show and Blue Show. There you guys are in the chat room, Navisa Dot, Gills, and Daniel. Yes, Andrew. Nobody watches SmackDown. All right, that's enough for the TV shows. It's time to talk a little bit about the news. A lot of news on the injury front, updates to the Milk Carton, and then I'm going to talk about that alcoholic who was passed out in a stairwell. Hey, why isn't the news up? Where's the news? There's the news. Harley Race was hospitalized last week and is still hospitalized. And now a fundraiser is being kicked up to cover his medical expenses. It faced a medical scare over last weekend. Harley Race was traveling to the Fanboy Expo in Knoxville last Thursday when he fell ill and had to go to the hospital. The situation was not publicly announced until last Saturday. Race's team mentioned he was hoping to leave the hospital, but the situation is serious enough that they had to keep him there. Race is currently battling lung cancer, and while Race's team is not providing specific information about his situation due to privacy, they did say that Harley Race was, is, and always will be a fighter, and he hasn't thrown in the towel. He has promised that as long as it's up to him, that won't be an option. All of Race's upcoming appearances have been canceled. Unfortunately, because he was traveling to Tennessee, he had to be hospitalized in a facility that was far away from his home and family. To help cover the cost of the expenses, special T-shirts are being sold on the fundraiser, with the funds going directly to the situation. So yeah, there's the T-shirt. Yeah, it's real. This is kind of a sad situation that's going on right now. Yeah. So it's kind of awkward too. I remember bumping into him over at WrestleMania Miami with Adam and Mike a handful of years ago. He was actually just walking through the concourse as we were going to our seats. Yeah, kind of awkward. Kind of awkward. Yeah. Roman Reigns won an ESPY for the Best WWE Moment Award at the ESPY event for ESPN, which is really fucking weird. That ESPN has award ceremonies in the first place, and let alone they would hand them out to the WWE unless money was involved in a massive marketing deal between the two companies for the past 4 years. Roman Reigns won an award for battling leukemia and returning on the February 25th episode of Monday Night Raw. And won an award about sports from a cable network that had this award ceremony about sports from a network that only shows live sports 3 times out of the week. And hardly any sports from any of the 4 major league sports organizations or leagues. Britt Baker suffered a concussion during the buy-in match for the AEW event that they had called Fight for the Fallen over the last weekend. During the buy-in pre-show for AEW Fight for the Fallen, Britt Baker suffered a concussion during her match. She was teaming with Riho against Shoko Nakajima and Bae Presley. Bae Presley caught Baker with a full-force kick to the head that led to the concussion. Baker was disoriented following the kick and even went to the wrong corner, trying to make a tag during the match. I've seen that gif. Baker still finished the match despite the concussion. Referee Aubrey Edwards accompanied Baker to the hospital and confirmed on Twitter the injury. Baker subsequently tweeted acknowledging the concussion. She hurriedly left the venue, according to her tweet, to take care of a concussed coworker and checked on her every hour of the night. Next pair is on me. That's one of the earrings that was lost from Britt Baker. Yeah. Here's okay. First off, I want to say I attended the All In event last Labor Day weekend of last year, along with Mike and Adam, who's no longer with us. And there was a Fatal 4-Way women's match. And Dr. Britt Baker was one of the performers. She is actually a licensed dentist. Okay, number one. I am a fan of Britt Baker. I love the gimmick, the look, the Dr. Britt Baker DDS, the Titantron of her when I saw it at All In was magnificent. Showing an x-ray of a skull and the heel of a foot coming up, kicking the top of the teeth flying, Dr. Britt Baker DDS with the cross and the serpents that would be the medical logo and skulls around it. I loved Britt Baker. Okay. I think she is a fantastic character, fantastic gimmick, fantastic everything. Okay. I don't know if it would ever. God, this is a female act I would try to get to the WWE post haste. Okay. I would get her in NXT, keep her the name, keep everything. Keep that look on the Titantron. Oh God, it is so good. So great. Marketed fantastic. But it's unfortunate that she suffered the concussion. I've seen the gifs throughout the week of her going to the wrong corner to make a hot tag for that Fight for the Fallen pay-per-view. It's nothing to make fun of. I'm sure that, yeah, she was knocked out of her senses with that one. Okay, so I hope she's okay. Hope makes it back to the ring. I think she's just a great character and a great gimmick. You know, um, she's not very flashy in the ring. She knows what she's doing in there. So yeah. Speaking of the AEW, they announced a partnership with Live Source to offer live auctions for their collectibles because they would like your money. They would like your money. Yeah. On July 17th, the auctions are going to open up. That's today! With the opportunity to get all out tickets for Labor Day weekend of this year. It's happening again. I have nothing against AEW. Okay? I've been given a lot of flack for not giving them enough attention, for not covering any of their pay-per-view events, and it is warranted. However, I am not going to genuinely cover them as a legitimate organization until they have some television shows, until they have some storylines I can talk about, until they have some characters that I can prognosticate on, until I can fantasy book them. I could fantasy book New Japan easier than I could book AEW. Okay? So, until AEW gets their TV show, there you go. I wish them success. I want them to succeed. Just don't tell me that I'm a homer. Not until they give me something worth prognosticating on. You're not going to see me wearing a black t-shirt with a skull on it and random words on it anytime soon, that's for sure. WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross politely refused an invitation to come to next week's Raw reunion show on Monday. He politely refused. It was going to be in Tampa. Jim Ross also noted that AEW President Tony Khan left the decision completely up to him. And Ross further said that he hopes that the Raw reunion is a ratings success. There he is with the Twitter post. The boys are back in town with Bret Hart, Davey Boy Smith, Jim Ross, and Owen Hart. Canadian Stampede, because some are asking, I was cordially invited to attend the Raw reunion by Vince McMahon, but I politely refused. Khan left it up to me. Nonetheless, I hope the reunion is a rating success. Well, there you go. Straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the horse's mouth. Daniel saying AEW can't go wrong because it's the fan base. Well, now, yeah. The fan base just wants to feel like they're part of something. I remember EC Dub way back in 96 and 97, and this got the same attention as AEW is getting right now. Except AEW has the force of the internet behind them. EC Dub didn't have, they had a very infant internet behind them. They only had word of mouth, is what EC Dub had. News on the injury front, I think. Where's my news on the injury front? I want news on the injury front. Can I get the news on the injury front? Where's my news? Why aren't you seeing news on the injury front? I don't know. Why aren't you seeing this? I don't know. Maybe if I closed the other one. Where are you? News on the injury front. There's lots of it. Close it. Oh, no. There we go. There it is. Everything is fine. The internet is working. Everything is fine. Mickie James underwent ACL surgery yesterday, and her boyfriend, Nick Aldis, said it was a complete success. He took to the Twitter, said it was a complete success. I'm sure when she's feeling up to it, she'll share more. Thank you. All hands are clapping. Mickie James tore her ACL last month in a house show match against Carmella in Waco, Texas. Yep. So, yep, she's all good to go. Had a good success on her surgery, so there you go. It's all good. I gotta clear my palate for a little bit. We have the meats. Finn Balor reportedly asked for time off from the WWE, but is going to continue to work up to SummerSlam. According to a report by Pro Wrestling Sheet and confirmed through other sources, Finn Balor has asked for 2 months off from the WWE. He's going to be turning 38 at the end of this month, and he's reportedly taking time off to recharge. It's been approved by WWE officials and will begin next month, so he's going to work up until at least SummerSlam. Last night on Raw, Balor was entered into a program with the Disco Fiend Bray Wyatt. So, Finn Balor Fonz Balor is set to go up to SummerSlam. Will we get Balor versus the Disco Fiend? Will we get Demon Balor versus the Disco Fiend? Will the Demon Balor get his first loss? Only time will tell. Not until it's booked. Not until it's booked. Alexa Bliss was suffering from an illness last week before going into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view on Sunday. She took to the Instagram to state that she was suffering and had been the sickest I think I've ever been in my life for the past 2 weeks. That's what she said. It came over to make sure the pink and tone was touched up on her hair, and it was. Yeah, she did not miss the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and she was perfectly good to go. But apparently, according to F4W Online, she was suffering from a really bad sinus infection. I want to keep this picture up of Alexa Bliss right now. I can totally understand suffering from a really bad sinus infection. Okay. A couple of Christmases ago, maybe 2 Decembers ago or 2 Novembers ago, I had an incredibly bad sinus infection. And I'm talking a sinus infection to where the headache that I had was so pounding. I had to go to a doctor, and I don't see a doctor that much. That was the first time I had seen a doctor in probably 10 years. And I had to get a steroid or something to relieve me of the pain in my head from the sinus infection. I mean, I was in bed for a good 5 to 6 hours trying to sleep, and it was pounding. Sinus infections suck, okay? My sinus infections used to be all lung concentrated, where I was coughing up a lot of green and brown shit, but it never stayed in my head. That sucked, okay? I totally understand how you just feel like shit when it comes to a sinus infection. I'm keeping this picture up here, though, because Alexa is hot without the cake. Not chauvinistic at all. It's just a comment. That's all. Alexa is hot without the cake. Tamina Snuka was knocked unconscious at a WWE live event in Augusta, Maine, back on June the 12th. That was last Friday. This was during a match with Sarah, where she was teaming with Sarah Logan facing Naomi and Dana Brooke. She had to be helped out of the ring. An attendee at the live event states that a knee from Naomi knocked Tamina out. And there she is, lying prone from the great Twitter account, Lasagna is Pasta Cake. Yeah. Still down, the lights have lowered in the ring, and there they are with Tamina and Sarah Logan checking on her after the match. Yeah. Here we go. We got more reports coming in from the ringside guru. Yeah. So, took a knee to the head. Could be concussed. Is that going to help? I don't know. It might take her off the milk carton if it's confirmed that she has a concussion and that she's unhealthy. So that's all the news on the injury front. Let's update that injury list right now. Jason Jordan, dear God, just have him retire for now. Just have him retire. He hasn't been on TV in nearly 3 years. Tomato Chomper, neck surgery. He is looking fantastic. He was slated to be returned in December of this year. He might be in time for Survivor Series TakeOver in November, is what I'm slating him for, actually. Ronda Rousey's got a broken hand and she wants a Bennett. She may not be back until WrestleMania. Nia Jax doing a fantastic job on rehabilitation for reparative surgery on both ACLs in her knee. Slated for a Royal Rumble return. She might be back also in time for Survivor Series. Jeff Hardy, knee surgery, not due back till Fastlane, but who knows if he'll be coming back. We've got more talks about him. Dominic Dijakovic, torn meniscus. He should be returning to the NXT ring sometime this month, if not the beginning of August. Wooby Wyatt, bilateral surgery on both shoulders, just like the same surgery that Sami Zayn had. She may not be back until the Royal Rumble. Mickie James had the successful ACL surgery. She won't be back until Survivor Series. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, backs injuries and neck and knee injuries. We don't know what's going on with them. We really have no idea what's going on with O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Undisputed Era really just looks like Adam Cole right now. Lars Sullivan, major knee injury. Sounds like something involving ACL or MCL or both in between. He's not slated back for WrestleMania. And finally, Jinder Mahal, ruptured patella, underwent successful surgery last month, I believe. He is not slated back until WrestleMania as well. It is 3 months to recover from the surgery, another 4 to 6 months for activity if you're an athlete when it comes to a ruptured patella. So, those are the people who are injured. What about the people who are healthy? What about the people who are perfectly fine? What about the people who haven't been on WWE major programming, that being television, pay-per-view, or otherwise, since, say, 3 weeks? They end up on a special list. It is a list that the WWE pays very close attention to. They make sure to get them on TV so they don't end up on it. It is the WWE Milk Carton.
Oh, I'm a carton of milk, I never spoil, I am so white.
I'm sorry. Just had to go ahead and just say that. I hope to. CJ's not here, so he can't rag on me about that. Chad Gable. You would think, with all of the random times that we had him on TV taking notes between Apollo and Andrade, jawing and talking crap to each other, you would think we would keep on seeing him, but nope. He had a fantastic match against Gallagher on 205 Live earlier this week. But nope, he is on the milk carton. I'm putting him on there. He has not appeared since June the 25th when he was taking said notes between a segment between Apollo and Andrade. Okay. So Akam appeared on TV this week representing AOP, but Razar did not. We haven't seen Razar since he emerged from the locker room of Baron Corbin on June the 18th when he said that he was glad that we talked to him when we did. I don't know. I don't get it. Something happened. Don't tell me he's hurt. Don't tell me this beast of a man is hurt. AOP has been riddled with injury problems for too long, for the past 2 years. If that's the case, AOP may be going back to NXT. That's all I got to say. Matt Hardy, haven't seen him since June the 18th with a backstage segment emerging from Baron Corbin's locker room to maybe be the referee for his match against Seth Rollins at Stomping Grounds. He's doing a lot of stuff on Twitter, been posting a lot of videos about Morehouse Hardy. Don't get it. He seems to be having a lot of fun with his life, apart from his brother. Rusev, haven't seen him since June the 7th when he took part of the biggest battle royal from Jeddah, South Dakota during the Super Showdown. He's been posting Twitter videos, having fun with life, posting hot pictures of his wife. He's had a lot of vacation. He's only appeared once in the past 3 months. Sin Cara, haven't seen him since that same battle royale from Jeddah, South Dakota. Probably won't see him again. Tamina, we mentioned that she suffered from a concussion over at a house show over in Augusta, Maine. She's doing a lot of dark show stuff, dark matches, house show stuff. She's not going to be on WWE TV anytime soon. And due to concussion protocol, she might be off the list. Lana, haven't seen her since April the 23rd when she was at ringside during a match between Kofi Kingston and Shinsuke Nakamura. She's posting Instagram photos and pictures on the Twitter looking hot. Don't change. Alicia Fox, we haven't seen her since April the 22nd when she had her botcherific match against Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw. She still posts the stuff on the Twitter and the Instagram, just looking nice. But I think she may be done. We may be looking at a contract expiration coming up with her. You've had a nice career, Alicia, and that final match you had summed it up. Lio Rush, we haven't seen him since April the 15th when he was at ringside for a 6-man tag match at the post-WrestleMania Raw. No, it wasn't. It was the Superstar Shakeup Raw. I take that back. Yeah, Lio Rush has been too busy reminiscing about his past independent wrestling appearances. That's all he's been posting on the Twitter. The man needs to do something with his life. Sheamus, we have not seen him since April the 9th, since he had a 6-man tag match at the post-WrestleMania episode of SmackDown. He is still posting workout videos with other WWE superstars on his YouTube account. He is still fulfilling obligations with sponsors at WWE events, one of them involving cricket. I think he is writing out his contract. There's going to be a point this year where he will have a retirement match. Prepare yourself. We may see the retirement of Sheamus this year. That's my opinion. The Ascension. We haven't seen them since April the 7th of WrestleMania when they participated in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Had my fun with I had my fun with Victor on the Twitter. Takes a joke real well. Ship them back to NXT. Do something. I don't know. Harper. Haven't seen him since that Battle Royale at WrestleMania. The Jeff Hardy logo is very small behind me. Don't care. Harper is writing out the lag of his wrist injury via his contract. So his contract is probably going to be expiring here at the end of August, is what it's looking at. Do not look at him as signing up with AEW. He's not going to sign up with an independent. The man is nearing 40 or is over 40 and is injury riddled. No, I see him being a coach or somewhere at a smaller wrestling school, particularly in his home state of New Jersey. Sasha Banks has been posting photos on the Twitter, on the Instagram, hinting at stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily WWE related. It's very inspirational and meme-like. I don't know. If she returns, okay. Be against Bayley, fine. That's what everyone was hinting at for the past few weeks. It didn't happen. So, look. I only hope that when she does choose to return to a ring of any kind, whether it be WWE, AEW, or anywhere else, that she gets her shit together. Because before WrestleMania, the past 3 months that she had of wrestling matches were utter shit. Could have easily injured anybody. Watch them. Pick a random match on any Monday Night Raw between January and April of this year. You'll know what I'm talking about. Primo Colon, haven't seen him since March the 26th when he appeared in a segment involving Shane McMahon and The Miz on an episode of SmackDown leading into WrestleMania. He's over in Brazil doing stuff with the Performance Center down there in South America branch for the WWE. Totally understand, but he is on the WWE main roster's main page. So if that's when he last appeared on TV, that's when he's going to be on the Milk Carton. And speaking of which, it is time for the stalwart of the Milk Carton. He has been on the Milk Carton for 9 months. Holy crap. We're approaching Bray Wyatt levels of Milk Cartonism. And that's Epico Cologne. We have not seen him since Survivor Series, when it was the Raw versus SmackDown Tag Team Elimination match. That is your WWE Milk Carton. Prepare yourselves for a new entrant coming onto the Milk Carton. If he does not appear on an episode of Monday Night Raw next week, it will be his third appearance on the WWE Milk Carton. After that, there's not really going to be a whole lot of anyone else because of 24/7 titles. So we'll see what happens. But until then, first off, take a sip of the sources. They're a little, oh gosh. Fill up your drinks because we're going to talk about someone who has too many of them, or at least is not responsible enough with them. It's time for segment about a guy who does way too much of this out in public, and he gets behind a wheel, puts other people's lives in danger, and does not face the consequences. All right. It's time to get serious, people. All right. Yeah, let me bring up my thing here real quick. There we go. Yesterday, as I was watching my DVR'd episode of SmackDown, it's usually around Tuesday night. I start thinking about, okay, what is my op-ed piece, or what is my, what's my long-term piece going to be for Wrestleview Weekly? And normally it's pretty easy when it's the go home for a pay-per-view. I do pay-per-view predictions. if something interesting happens on 2 or 3 storyline fronts, I think of doing a fantasy booking segment where we try to book WrestleMania. That was not the case this week when it comes to happy things. I think this is really the first negative op-ed piece that I've done on Wrestleview Weekly, and it's something that really hits the home both tangibly and intangibly. So, oh hey Hayden, you make an appearance. This is what happens when you live in the Carolinas. Well, kinda. Details came out about Jeff Hardy's recent arrest for public intoxication in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where he was found passed out in a public stairwell at 11 o'clock in the morning. Where less than 9 months before that, he was arrested for DWI, not but 20 miles away from my home in Concord, North Carolina. Surrendered his driver's license. How the hell did he get to Myrtle Beach? He must have friends, I guess. After reading the details about his public intoxication arrest and how he only paid less than $160 to get out of jail for that, I thought, you know what? It's about time we talk about all the stupid shit that's gone on with Jeff Hardy and his professional and his personal career. It's about time someone called him out, okay? All that I saw when the details came out of his public intoxication arrest and just the arrest in general before the details came out, everyone was, and I mean everyone, and people commenting and people on the Twitter and everywhere else on social media going, oh, leave Jeff Hardy alone. He's trying to battle his demons. He's just an addict. He's trying to get himself better. You must have been born 3 years ago. You have no fucking clue what this cat has gone through, what he's done to himself, what he's done to others around him, and what he's done here locally. Locally, okay? The man is a danger to himself, to the organization that he's with, and the people that are around him. This guy needs a swift kick in the ass. This, earlier today, I put together this piece for Wrestleview.com, titling it The Chronological Self-Destruction of Jeff Hardy. I went through his entire career. Read the comments. Oh, you looked on Wikipedia and online world of wrestling and you went in and copy and pasted. No. I looked up news articles. I looked up local newspaper articles and columns. Went on our own website of Wrestleview.com to put all of the reference material of everything that's happened with Jeff Hardy. Spent a large portion of my day doing this. And it's kind of, you go ahead and just add the emotion that you want to it. Revelatory, sad, depressing, humiliating, embarrassing. Add what you want. My thing with all of this is I really just want to harbor on 2 points when it comes to this. Again, check it out on Wrestleview.com. I put it all together. It is chronological order, his signings and resignations and coming to terms of contracts with both WWE and TNA, and also all of the legal battles and turmoil that he has gone through with regards to substance abuse, alcohol abuse, no call, no shows, and truancies to live events. Goes over everything. Thanks, Quentin. Thanks, I appreciate it. Saying a bloody good piece. Thank you. I love the comments of hatred and everything. It doesn't really hurt me at all. But I mention it, so it's got to mean something, right? But so two things that I want to go with here is I could go through and I could just read off everything that I wrote when it comes to his professional career. Okay, I mean, look at this. The WWE releasing him in 2003. They said it was due to his erratic behavior, drug use, refusal to enter rehabilitation, deteriorating ring of performance, and the tardiness and no showing of events. He downplayed those accusations in an '06 article when he returned to the WWE in a WWE.com article saying that he didn't need rehab and that it wasn't just about demons and demonic metaphors that related to his drug use. He failed drug tests because he just didn't care, that he didn't want to wrestle anymore, that instead he wanted to build a motocross kart track in his damn home. So that was him. Okay. Goes to TNA, no shows a couple of pay-per-view live events, suspended, comes back to the WWE. He fails the WWE's newly instituted talent wellness program twice. His home would be destroyed in a fire 3 days after his second wellness policy violation. What the cause of is, we still do not know what it is. It is undetermined. No foul play was involved and no one was there. We still don't know what happened in that fire, and I'm very curious about that. Okay? I am not insinuating anything by my curiosity. I'm just really curious about it. Expired contract with the WWE in September 1 of 2009, and then a week and a half later, his home is raided by the officers of Moore County. They found in his home prescription Vicodin and prescription Soma, 555 milliliters of anabolic steroids, residual cocaine. He was released from jail on a $125,000 bond. For 2 years, we would have continuances on this drug raid on his newly built home. After those 2 years, he would plead guilty. He would serve only 10 days in jail, have 30 months of probation, and pay a $125,000 bond, I believe is what it was, what I wrote there. A $100,000 fine is what he would pay. Okay? What I want to play for you, but the biggest, again, two things. Again, I don't want to go through my entire thing, but there were two things I want to talk about. The first thing is this one. Put on your headphones, turn it up. This, in my opinion, is the most embarrassing, humiliating moment in all of professional wrestling on so many fronts. Not just on the individual that it goes over, but the organization that allowed the individual to go on. I'm talking about Victory Road from TNA in 2011. Okay. You probably know what I'm talking about. You looked at this, watched it live, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, I encourage you to watch this. Okay? It is important. As awkward and as sad and depressing as it is to watch, you must watch this so that you have a sense of humanity in you for everyone involved. Brace yourselves. And I've got to put on my headphones for this one. I'm getting sobered up from the sources. Here we go.
What the hell, a straight edge man again?
I got you, shit, fam. I see that goddamn red light on.
Jeff was in a bad way that day, and he was deteriorating as the hours went on, more and more as the day went on. And it got to a point where he was just not ready to wrestle.
am so thankful that I did not watch this live. When I heard what happened at this pay-per-view, I watched it.
Moment of truth has arrived. No longer the chance for Jeff Hardy to make excuses about a lack of preparation time. You know, as someone who has followed Sting since the start of his career, as someone who's appreciated all of his
When I think of dark moments in professional wrestling, I think of those that the entire nation watches live. One of those is the death of Owen Hart.
I mean, when will it go out? When will the fire inside
This ranks up.
great athlete? What, this legendary wrestler. When will the fire go out in Sting? I mean, really, how many more matches are left in this man? He's the world champ. He shocked the world, showed up on Impact.
Standing in the corner to my left, he weighed in this morning at 236
Look at him.
pounds and comes to us from Cameron.
I don't care if this was 7 years ago.
He is the #1 contender for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the world, the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy.
Doesn't matter if it was 8 years ago. It's happening like it's still right now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, standing in the corner to my right, he weighed in this morning at 258 pounds and comes to us from Venice Beach, California. He is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion.
Just look at the face. Look at his face. Look at Borden's face. He can't believe what he's doing right now. I feel so sorry for him. I cannot imagine how he must feel to be a part of this.
Well, just as the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion soaks in the crowd reaction here at Victory Road, he's interrupted by the appearance, the arrival of Immortals Eric Bischoff.
This would never happen in the
Slight
WWE.
change of plans here,
Never.
ladies and gentlemen. Slight change in plans. See, we had a little situation on March 3rd where the network got involved in our business. And because Mr. Hardy was taken advantage of in such a blatant way, I want you to know that I'm going to be fair. Really, shake my hand. I want you to know I'm going to be fair. All right, you don't have it your
It's Sting takes
Here we
care of
go.
the messenger, doesn't he?
That's not just a message.
Oh, Doug, stop bringing up the past.
One of the head honchos of the Mortal, honestly, but yeah, I mean, Sting just world
Oh,
champ.
Doug,
Saying,
stop. He's trying to better
I'm the
himself.
captain of this ship. No matter who's in charge, I'm the world champ. But right now, Jeff Hardy.
Doug, this is the kind of stuff that I don't come to
About
Wrestleview
throwing his
for.
t-shirt. I better worry about the world title at stake here.
Hardly the time to play to the crowd.
I never thought that Wrestleview would make me relive and remember things.
Sting decides that he's had enough with whatever Jeff Hardy is trying to accomplish and gets right in his chest.
What the hell is Jeff Hardy doing here?
Messing with the crowd at Victory Road, declines to throw the shirt. And now decides he better focus on the task at hand, and that's trying to win back the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, not just for himself, but also for Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, and everyone aligned with Immortal.
No, right now,
Oh, wow, right off the bat, Scorpion Death Drop.
not playing games. Got him.
Wow, God. The winner of the match.
Look at Borden.
TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Icon, Sting.
Oh my God! Wow! Shocker! Shocker! Holy smokes!
That's a jaw dropper tonight at Victory Road.
I'm speechless. No one expected this. I mean, didn't know who his opponent was going to be on March 3rd. Sting just shocked the world again. Ultra quick victory for the world champion. Sting is just, it's like he reinvented himself, Mike. It's like he reinvented himself.
I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, let's go back. Let's revisit everything that has gone down tonight.
Yeah. That happened. That happened 8 years ago. Less than 8 years ago. People don't want to be reminded of it. You should be. You should be reminded it by all of the people involved. Positives and negatives. I'm going to start with the negatives. And that's blatant, okay? For number one, fuck Jeff Hardy. You're a goddamn professional and you showed up to an event like that? The hell's wrong with you? Hell's your problem? Haven't you learned anything at all? You want another negative from the organization itself? How dare TNA even allow that to happen? Allow it to happen. You can come up with something on the fly real quick. You can have Sting be in a random match with Abyss. You can do that. Mr. Anderson. Bully Ray. Take your pick. It could be anybody. You could do anything other than what you just did. Unless you did it on purpose for the sake of Jeff Hardy. To have it recorded for everyone to see. And for his history's sake and for his own sake, that he see exactly what is happening to him. That this be for him more than professional wrestling fans or anyone else. Unless TNA did this on purpose for it to be a frickin' wake-up call to Jeff Hardy. But do we really think TNA has that kind of humanity to do that? Do we really think TNA has the foresight to do that? I don't know. We need to recognize with that incident in 2011 at Victory Road, the professionals that Eric Bischoff and Sting were. Eric Bischoff and Sting maintaining kayfabe throughout that entire ordeal, throughout that entire thing. Professionals. That's all you'd ask for. Professionals. Responsibility. That's all you ask for from them. And they did it. Comments can be made. Oh, now Eric Bischoff's the head of SmackDown and he was head of TNT. No. Eric Bischoff was the glue that kept that thing from really going off the rails. I absolutely have no problem with Eric Bischoff being the head of SmackDown. None whatsoever. None. None at all. I got no problem with Sting potentially coming back to do some kind of stupid fantasy match with The Undertaker at Jeddah, South Dakota. I got no problem with it. They're professionals. What I've got a problem with is Jeff Hardy still having a job. I've got a problem with Jeff Hardy being enabled. I got a problem with Jeff Hardy getting off so cleanly from everything that he's done. My first DUI happened here in North Carolina in 2001. I was a stupid 22-year-old. Didn't know any better. I was stubborn. People offered me a ride home. I was too high on myself. I thought I was still okay to go. I drove. There was a traffic stop over on the off-ramp from the interstate to go home. I blew a .12. It was 4 points over the legal limit. Yeah. Lost my license. Paid a ton in fines and lawyers' fees. It would be a year, and I would have a conditional license where I could only drive to work and school. Couldn't drive anywhere else. And I wouldn't get my actual license back until a year after that. I paid a lot in fines. Upwards of about $1,000. I know the first fine was about a $500 court fine. Yeah. That was my first DUI. My second DUI came a little over 5 years after. Again, was at a traffic stop. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't at a traffic stop. The cop pulled me over, said I was swerving. I'm not going to deny it. I was probably swerving. I blew one notch over the legal limit. It was a .09. I was arraigned. Second DUI brought me a charge of spending a week in jail. 1 full year without a license. After that year of not having a license, I would need a breathalyzer on my car for a year. Spent so much in lawyers' fees and court. The court fine was $1,000. Lost my job. Lived with my family. Thank God for my family. I lost a few friends too. That second DUI was the wake-up call. Spent a week in jail. A week in jail at the same facility that Jeff Hardy blew a .25 in last year. Same facility. Cabarrus County Detention Facility. It's in Concord, North Carolina, is where I got my 2 DUIs. Because there were some bars there that I like to hang out at. Same place. It's where I spent my 10 days in my week in jail. Concord Parkway, where Jeff Hardy careened his 2016 Cadillac, is the same stretch of highway. It's Highway 49 is what it is. Same stretch of highway that runs alongside Charlotte Motor Speedway going into Harris Boulevard on the outskirts of Charlotte. He careened his 2016 Cadillac into 105 feet of guardrail, causing $5,000 in damages to the guardrail, $8,000 to his car. Fuck his car. I'm talking about his guardrail. He blew a .25. That's more than triple the state limit. Because of my 2 DUIs within a 7-year span, I had to spend 7 days in jail. I had to have a license without a year. Had to get a breathalyzer on my car. It took 6 months after not having a license to finally get a car to have a breathalyzer on that car. I thank so many outside forces that I did not injure anyone during those 2 occurrences that I had. I'm incredibly grateful and thankful to the resources that I have, my family and friends. It's ironic that I sit here and do this show drinking the stuff that caused me to be in the situations that I was in. But it's because I didn't know better back then. I learned from them. A week in jail can sober anyone up real quick. Real quick. This guy spent 10 days in jail after being nailed with drug trafficking charges, with intent to distribute charges, drug paraphernalia charges. His fucking house burnt down. He spent 10 days in jail. He spent over $100,000 in fines. We're not even talking about the lawyers. We're not even talking about court fees before that. The guy had 2 years of continuances. What I had to pay in fines is a drop in the bucket compared to what Jeff Hardy has paid in fines. Top of outside of that. Happened here, locally. Down the interstate from me, near the bar that I used to hang out at. He spent 10 days in jail. He's probably spent well over $1 million to close to $2 million in lawyers' fees, fines, his house burning down, everything else, and he still hasn't learned. That's my problem. That's the second point I'm leading up to. I spent a week in jail. I'm only a year younger than him, and I learned my lesson. I know if I'm driving, I am not drinking. And if I do go out to drink, someone else is driving me home or I'm staying home. I've learned my lesson. I know I'm responsible. I'm mature enough. Sure, I don't have a job like he has to where it's so physically demanding and so demanding on you mentally. I totally get that. There are differences between occupationally and professionally, the two of us. But there's no difference personally. There's no difference mentally. None at all. None. None at all. If anything, he should be stronger than me. The career and the life that this boy has had, and everything that's been ever given to him and afforded to him, the chances he's had, the resources that he has, and he still hasn't learned from them. He's rejected rehabilitation given to him for free. The only time he ever went to rehab because it was obligated and it was mandated by him by a probation officer after his home was raided on drug trafficking charges. 30 months of rehabilitation. 8 years ago. I know people are saying that he has demons. Oh, he's struggling. Don't give him such a hard time. Don't make him relive the past. Don't do this. Don't do this to him. You want him to die in 5 years. If you care about Jeff Hardy, you want the WWE to release him, you want him in a facility. Seriously. If you care about him, you do not want him performing on television or for the WWE ever. You don't want him performing for anyone ever. You cannot have this happen. If you do, if you just want to see him continue to perform, you're enabling him. He will die in 5 years. I am not locking that because that is way too ironic. He needs help. A lot of it. And the first way you help him, cut off his ties. Cut off his money. Cut off everything. Cut off his residuals. Give him a lump sum of cash. Cash in the contract. Cut him off. Andrew asking, is there a way that he could make him go to rehab? Yeah. You want to stay under contract? Go to rehab. But we know what rehab did to him last time. That was mandated by the state. He went to 30 months of rehab, and look what's happened to him. I'm not talking about the public intoxication in South Carolina. I'm talking about the DUI from last year. I have no sympathy for anyone who does not learn from their mistakes, because I've gone through them. I've learned from them. And I consider myself a weaker person with lesser amount of resources and fewer family and friends than many others do. I'm not saying that to be down on myself. I'm saying that as truth and fact. This guy's got money. This guy's got resources. He's got family and friends everywhere. He still hasn't learned. I thought it'd be wise to keep my opinion off of the piece that I put on Wrestleview.com for the self-destruction of Jeff Hardy, only because I wanted others to formulate their opinions. And, oh, but Doug, you're only putting up the stuff that you want us to know, that only what you want us to know. You're not putting up everything else. Oh, what is everything else? Oh, please, paint Jeff Hardy in a positive light. Try. Please. Help me out. Please paint him in a positive light throughout his professional career. I'd love to hear it. Oh, it's got to be but it's got to be stuff outside of the ring. If all you can think of is the shit he's done in the ring, then you're enabling him. You're enabling him, and he will die in 5 years. You thought Eddie Guerrero's death was sad? I'll one-up you. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. I really don't like... This is the first time I've ended this show on a sad, angry, dark note. But it has to be said. It really had to be. Okay? Thank you, everyone who joined me for the show live in the chat room. Andrew, Shane, Quentin, CJ. Sweet Lou, you sexy beast. Daniel, I like you, Daniel. You're a good person. Who else is in there? Kit, Nafisa Dot, Mashun, anyone else, everyone else. Come on, let me know who you are. Yes, I got it. Whee! Okay. We're getting there. Okay. Yes, Hayden, Gills, yes. Oh, thank you, Gills, saying thank you for being so open. Thank you, Gills. I appreciate it. Jama, caught the end but haven't. Thank you, Jama. Please tune into the rest of the show. I guarantee you it won't be as angry. Whee! Take a sip of the sources. All right. It's all good. Andrew, yes, thank you. Okay. Shane, thank you. Best show you ever. Thank you, Shane. I'm seriously about to grimace here. I don't want to have a tear come to my eye. I don't know if that'll show up through the green screen. Thanks, Lou. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I did want to, if you did not hear me open up like that before, I felt it needed to be done, especially with a topic like this. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Tune in next week, Monday night. Mike and Victoria will be doing their post-Raw recap like they always do. I'm sure Mike will be angry about something because he's old, and Victoria will try to talk him down, even though she's pregnant. Man, that's got to take some work. And tune in next week here for myself, here on Wrestleview Weekly. Not a whole lot of updates to the Milk Carton. I am up for suggestions on what to do for the show. I'm maybe fantasy booking. I don't feel like cramming in the 205 Live, though there was a good match between Gallagher and Chad Gable that I should be checking out. But also, just to give you guys a heads up, next week's show will be the last show before I take a week off because it's going to be my birthday, and I will not be here. So I'll fill you guys in on all of that stuff. But again, thank you all so much for stopping by. If you have suggestions for what I should do for next week, go to the Facebook group, Wrestleview Media. Sign up if you aren't on it. We'll start a thread. Hey, fun stuff. I need more fun stuff. Something to bring me up from this Debbie Downer of a topic. Thank you all so much. And as always, know when you're being sold to.